Alright, Darren Bain here. This video is courtesy of the London Hairdressing Apprenticeship Academy, and I'm pretty excited, guys, because I'm going to be doing a bob for you, okay? A one length bob, the most famous haircut on the planet, okay? The most famous haircut ever to be invented, okay? Really fundamental haircut. You know, there's probably 1,000 ways to do it. Okay, we're going to break it down again in its entirety. We're going to go through it step by step, and we're going to dissect it section by section. This haircut isn't particularly easy. It's very difficult. There's no hiding place. It takes no prisoners. If you get it wrong, it looks terrible. Okay, just to let you know if you haven't done one before. Okay, the guys that have done one in the past, you know how bad they can be if you're not on your game. Okay, again, I've done some bad ones. Okay, don't think that it's easier the longer you've been doing it. I've been doing hairdressing for 30 years, and every now and then I do a haircut that, you know, a bob that's not great, and you know, I still get upset about it even today. So you've got to be on the game every time to nail it. I'm going to nail it for you today, because if I don't, I'm going to look stupid. Okay, so let's get it right. So let's talk a bit about the haircut. What is a one length bob? It really is about creating a line that runs on the collar, and it starts preferably shorter in the back and then runs through to a beautiful point, a corner at the front. Now, a beautiful bob, a seamless bob, should always be the longest point generally at the front and slightly shorter at the back. Okay, there's quite a few key areas to this haircut that make it aesthetically pleasing, and there's a few areas that, if they don't particularly work out for you, unfortunately that's when you're going to lose the aesthetics, and one of them will be the front. If the front rounds up at all, unfortunately you're not going to get a beautiful bob. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go into the technique. So what I've done here, I've just pre-prepped the model. Okay, so what we've got is we've got a radial section. So from the front, we've got two side panels that we haven't yet touched. Okay, I'm going to cut it on a side parting. Okay, a bob is much more beautiful on the side. It can be cut in the centre as well if you choose. Then we've got our radial, and then we've got our centre profile. So this is exactly where we're going to start on our centre profile. Okay, so let's just add a little bit of height to it there. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out with some diagonal forward sectioning. Now we really want to start with a really nice small section to begin with. Okay, so take your first section like a sliver. Okay, so a nice small section to start, and then we're going to twist the hair, and then we're going to pop that out the way, and then we're going to take a sliver on the other side like so, and we're going to twist and pop that hair out of the way like so. Right, then we're going to go into our first section. So we're going to comb the hair, make sure the head is centralised. The head needs to be slightly forward, so the jaw is slightly dropped towards the front, and this is just enabling us to get into the nape. Now, there's no right or wrong when it comes to the length of a bob. Now, you can have a bob that sits anywhere from the shoulders, anywhere probably up to the bottom of the earlobe. Okay, that is all classed as a bob, anywhere in between that zone. Okay, if it goes longer than the shoulders, it's not really classed as a bob anymore. It'll be more classed as a one length haircut. Reason being, as soon as it hits the shoulders, you're going to lose the line, and it starts to become distorted, and then you won't really get that cleanness that is very representative of a bob. The whole thing with a bob really is you get that really clean kind of sharpness to it. Okay, that's what a bob really is famous for. Now, if you start coming above the ears, then again, arguably, it starts to go into more of graduation, and then obviously you're going to have to go into the hairline, and obviously if you start going into the hairline, then there's other areas of that, you know, are going to come into a little bit of discrepancy there. Okay, so we're going to stick to a classic one length bob. Okay, obviously there are other bobs that we will be delving into later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first section. I like to part the hair down the middle, and then what I'm going to do is take my first section, I'm going to comb it out, and I'll push the hair onto the skin, and I hold it in my hand like so. Okay, and then what I do is I cut down the hair like so. Okay, so the next section, push it down again onto the skin, then we cut down. Okay, Come to the other side, comb the hair down. Okay, then we cut it again on the skin. Okay, I'm just going to clean up this side. Okay, so we've got our first section in there. Okay, so the only thing I just need to touch on there is when you cut on a mannequin, you're working with this kind of silicone and plastic. So when you cut on the skin of a real person, okay, you'll find that you'll be able to glide through the hair a bit more freely. When you do it on a mannequin head, the hair moves and slips away, and it's quite difficult to catch all of the hair in one go. So you might need to rest your comb on the hair before you cut, okay? But don't worry about it too much, okay? When you're practicing on a mannequin, that is, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting your dexterity, getting the understanding, also just learning the sections and just learning how to deal with the hair before you build up the confidence on a real person. Because as I touched on earlier, you know, you can go quite horribly wrong with this haircut if you're not too careful. So you don't want to be, you know, trying it out on someone for the first time because, you know, you just want to build up a bit of confidence first. So as you can see on this second section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it through the comb like so, okay? Gives me a little bit more control over the hair. I'll take my second section on the other side. So as you can see, I'm just taking one section and then I'm cutting it the same on the other section. Okay, I'll just turn around this way, just so you can get an idea on this side. So as you can see, I like to comb the hair through my fingers first. And what I believe this does, it just gives me a nice tension on the hair, like so. And then what I'll do is I'll just then go back and then I'll cut through the comb, like so. Okay, now, like a lot of haircuts, it's all about repetition. So just reps in the industry, okay? In the hair industry, you're just putting reps in. Okay, that's all it is. It's like going to the gym, you've just got to go and put the reps in. The more reps you put in, the stronger you get, the better you get, the faster you get, whatever analogy you want to use, you just need to put the reps in, okay? And then you work simultaneously up both sides. And when you're doing the back, it's all about balance, okay? Really just doing one side, then checking on the other side, making sure that you've got the balance, okay? If the balance decides to move, because it's not quite the same, then you will notice it quite considerably on this haircut. Okay, down, natural fall. Okay, down, natural fall. Okay, it's really important this area here. This is your corner here. You've got to be really careful. You've also got to make sure this angle is diagonal, okay? The main reason for that is the head is going forward. So if this isn't diagonal, then when the head comes up, oh yeah, you can start to imagine this area here will go like that. It'll go up. Okay, and if that starts to go up, then your bob is you're in trouble. You're going to lose it. But you can see that beautiful corner here, even when the head's upright. So some people get into a situation where when the head's forward, they believe that the hair is becoming too angled. You have to remember the head is still forward at this moment. So don't think that it's too angled and start making it straighter. Okay, because again, when it comes up, you're going to be, well, disappointed, put it that way. Come through to the other side. Now what I love about a bob is it's a really enjoyable haircut in the sense that when you get it right, you know, and you really nail a bob, and when that day comes, it really is a beautiful day. It's one of the days in hairdressing that I remembered, and I'm sure it'll be a day that you'll remember, because it is quintessentially one of the nicest haircuts to really master. And I think most hairdressers would agree that if you can do a really good bob, you know, you really have accomplished something in your career. And you know, a lot of people will always ask for a bob when you go for a job trade test, for example. So when you do come to the time where you're going to go for a job interview and the first thing that most of the employers would do is they would probably get you to take a bob haircut into them and cut so they can see your level of hairdressing, amongst other haircuts obviously, but a bob would always be in there. Doesn't matter what's in fashion, a bob will always be asked for. Okay, doesn't matter what's going on in the hair industry, the bob is and always will be a fundamental haircut. And when I say fundamental, what I mean by that is it doesn't change, it will never change. Okay, fashion changes, haircuts within fashion sometimes change, but a bob itself will always be quintessentially a bob, okay? Obviously there's lots of things that you can expand on when you do your bob, so we're going to go into doing a layered bob, and we're also going to go into doing a bob with graduation, and they're all fantastic variations of the bob. But before you go into any of those, you've got to really master just cutting a line on the hair. Okay, so just working up. And just keeping an eye on the line. So every couple of sections I always like just to check it, just to make sure that I'm happy with it and the overall balance is always good. And as I touched on, just making sure you're just keeping an eye on where you are, how you're getting on. Okay, so a couple of little adjustments there, just really tweaking really. Okay, just gonna bring my last section down in the side now. There we go. One of the other things I'd just like to talk about is that my section at the back is just behind the ear, okay, not on top of the ear. Okay, that is super important. Again, because the curvature of the head is behind the ear, it's not on top of the ear, you want the back to be the back and you want the sides to be the sides. Okay, so again, work the hair down, natural fall. Natural fall. Natural fall. Okay. Just a last section on this side as well. Okay, natural fall. Okay, so down. So I've established a really nice strong line now, so you tend to find as you go on with this haircut, that line starts to really cement itself, and generally it should get a little bit easier. Certainly is to keep your guide. Okay, so there you go, that's the back area. Just check your balance, finger and thumb on the hair, should be able to feel it. Okay, shouldn't have to look, okay, you can look, but generally learn the art of feeling. Hair cutting is about a feeling as well. It's very visual, obviously, but it's not just visual, it's a feeling. And you have to have a feel for hair in order to really master and understand it. But we're going into the front now. The first thing you do in the front, the most important thing, is the head needs to come back up to a stationary, upright position. So I'm just going to demonstrate now. So the head comes up, 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 almost slightly exaggerated. What you got to think of is that jawline needs to be totally parallel to the ground, okay? Like so. Now, we can now release the sides. Just put a little plait in there because I just quite like the idea of the hair staying completely secure and out of the way. What we then do is not only is the head completely upright, it then needs to be tilted slightly to the side. Now when you do this on a client, the client really needs to be on board with you through the journey of the haircut. So moving her head around is essential. She needs to be with you. She can't be, too rigid because you won't get the result that you're looking for. Another thing I really want to touch on here is just something that's really important when you do a lot of haircuts. The line of your sections should mirror the line that you desire to cut. What I mean by that, if you take a completely horizontal section in the side, like so, that is a horizontal section, okay? Now, what's going to happen is when you comb the hair, your comb is the same as the section. So what's going to happen is you're generally going to cut the hair like that. But that's a problem because that is not going to be a beautiful bob because it's going to be slightly shorter at the front. What you want to be doing when you're doing, certainly a bob, but I do it on all my haircuts, is my sectioning is mirroring the angle that I am desiring to cut. So there is my diagonal line. And as you can see, when I comb the hair the same as the section, I get the desired line that I'm looking for. Okay? Clever. These little things are really going to help you. All right, so they're not going to stop you from, you know, making mistakes every time, or every now and then things will happen. But all these little things do really help. Just wet the hair down a bit. Okay, so now we're going to cut the side. Okay, comb the hair down. Here we go. Watch the comb. So it comes down. Okay, there's my line. Slightly longer towards the front, slightly shorter towards the back. Now, this area here is massively important. Why is it massively important? Okay, anyone guess? Oh yeah, it's the ear. This ear. Okay, now most people's ears stick out a lot more than that. Okay, so when that happens, when you comb it down, if you comb it down with too much tension and you cut it, okay, you're going to get what we call a hole in the ear. So you have this bob, and then there'll be a hole here, and then it'll go longer again. Now again, if that happens, unfortunately your bob is ruined, and they can't really make it better unless you recut the whole thing again. So make sure that doesn't happen. The ways to avoid it are use less tension. So what you do is put your scissors in, comb it down, and then when you get to the bottom, you get your scissors, you tap, 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 tap. And what that does, it releases the tension through here, and that way you don't get a hole over there. Again, I would say that and the hair being shorter at the front are the two most, well, unfortunately, the two most common mistakes I would say that people make when they're doing a bob. And the good thing is, now you're aware of it and it's been brought to your attention, you can deal with it. Because you think, okay, I'm in the side now, there's the ear, I know I might be able to get a hole in my ear if I'm not too careful. It's just about being aware. When you're aware of something, you can deal with it. If you don't know something's there, or there's something that's not a problem for you because you've not experienced it before, then it's just going to present itself, and then you're going to be like, how did that get there? How did I get that hole? So what you've got to be really careful of is not keep doing the same mistakes and expecting different results. Okay, because that is the definition of madness. Make sure if you do something, you don't get the desired result that you want. Okay, please don't do it again. Question yourself, why did that happen? Because if you keep doing it over and over, getting the same result, you're clearly doing something wrong and something needs to be rectified. Okay? And it might just be a case of just adjusting a little bit. It could be your body posture, you know, how you're standing, it could be, you know, the tension on the hair, could be the distribution of the hair, could be the angle that the head is at. There's so many factors that contribute to it. Last section here on this side. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. So as you can see, got a lovely longer shade towards the front. The head is already on an upright position. It's on the side, but it's already upright. So you can see it's slightly shorter at the back and slightly longer at the front. But when it dries, you'll see the front will sit much higher up. Coming to the other side now. We're going to repeat the same process. So we're going to comb the hair, remember, on a diagonal, like so. Okay, so the hair section is slightly diagonal. We're going to bring it down. So pop the head over to the side, bring it down, come through. Okay, pop the scissors behind, tap, tap, tap. Cut your desired length. And then you just keep repeating the same process on this side, like so. Comb it down. You can connect it in. Okay, you got a little bit more hair on this side, guys, because of the parting. So because this is the parting side, got a bit more hair to deal with. Couple more sections here, and then we have completed our one length line above shoulder, which is a bob. Okay, last section on the top. Just going to pop the head over a little bit more. Not much coming off the last section, just a tiny bit. Okay, we're all good. Okay, so we've got a couple of little pieces in the front there, but as you can see, just going to check the balance. Feels good. Now, no doubt what's going to happen when you do a bob is when the hair's dry, you're definitely going to get some graduation in the line, and you're going to need to clean the line up a bit, which I do want to show you more in detail when it's wet, when it's dry. At the moment it's wet, and what we're going to do now is blow dry the hair, get the hair nice and sleek, and then when it's dry we can go through and check it in a little bit more detail. Okay guys, this is my one length haircut, really technical haircut. As you can see, I put a lot of time and effort into this haircut. Super excited to share this with you. I really hope it's been useful in any way at all. God bless. Thank you for listening.